Hello, I'm back to the third movement of the Bartok dance suite, where I had investigated the things that went wrong before. Appraisal. That was much more confident than my run through this morning, much more confident. It was a little messy in places, but I knew where I was going. It really, that's one of the reasons I do run throughs cold, is I want to see where the weak spots are. Because if you can wake up and go to the piano, stagger to the piano in some cases, and just start playing, then whatever your real rock bottom conditioning is going to rise to the fore. But if there are insecurities or uncertainties or things that aren't well spelled out or things that require you to warm up into them or remind yourself of, those aren't going to be immediately accessible. So this is one of the things one does, or at least one of the things I've found practical and useful, is to check what sticks and then reinforce the things that tend not to. So I'm going to explore some more in this piece. I may as well start from the first movement. The third movement I went to right away because it was the most problematical this morning. So, oops. So that was just a reminder. I just stuck my hand down here on GD and I left it there. It comes up an octave. Bartok practically and nicely moves the left hand after the first iteration. My left hand is oscillation. So when I start fresh, it starts open on E minor. So E, let's see. Change this thing. I'm not sure. I will end up changing. Bass line. So the E, of course, is quite prompt. The A in the beginning, the E, then the D minor, with D, and now we're at C. That passage is much better than it used to be. One side. Signal the beginning of this series of threes after this simple third motion. Right hand. Because I know why I do that. In the third movement, it goes. Okay. In this movement, it's a simple B flat minor chord. Go figure. As I've pointed out many times to myself, to my students, and to you, it's the small discriminations that make the biggest difference. You need to analyze them. You need to be able to find a way of retaining them. So you can supply them as need be. So here I am on the G. Well, this is first of all held by my sostenuto. Sometimes I forget that it's octaves. think I've been used to, using my sostenuto more to keep the texture thinner. Starting to behave much more like an old friend. Okay, second movement. I have obvious trouble spots, I've told myself many times. I think I nailed one. The second mistake. There's a repeated D flat. It goes to an octave and it's contained in twice like that. Then it opens up. Thumb is probably not worth it. Let me It sure makes it comfortable though. Maybe I'll sneak it in early. Try the first phrase. Goes up to E flat. Put in an extra. And it should be piano when it restarts, otherwise much too noisy. Much better than this morning, so there you go. A B flat. B flat. Yuck. concerns about. E flat. Once again. E flat, unlike the finale, which goes up to G. Single notes. The tenor line is extremely important. Here it's shared between the hands. Here I do gymnastics with big stretches. F sharp at the bottom. Finally resolving to F natural. D flat at the top. So that F goes to E. It's really kind of cool. And unlike the third one that we're coming up upon, there's no last bass note. Okay, good. We will skip the third one because we just did the third one. Just have a few minutes anyway. This is now the fourth one, which didn't go badly. It's a question of keeping track of it. So short, long, hold, long, short, A flat. Ready to talk too much, and then the second beat, which is triplets, got in the way. So the first one is just symmetrical, except for the fact that there's a tie. This is fully symmetrical, the second measure. Three notes. Tie. Third beat. good. The description, obviously, that I was singing along, I let it get in the way sometimes. I was too enamored of listening to my own voice. But for the most part, it told me what to do. And that's important when you get into such a touchy-feely zone where you think, oh, you'll just let it be. There are so many intellectual decisions, let me put it this way, that Bartok made in this piece. So many ways in which he balanced ideas by choosing to do something that was intellectually satisfying. And if I don't engage him at that level, then a lot of his decisions will seem arbitrary. And if they do, that's when I get into trouble. So, brief review of number 5. I won't be able to get to the finale till later this evening because I have a rehearsal. But it's counting where the turns happen in number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, one thing I love about this piece taught me so much about the sostenuto pedal, but where I can use it. So I often catch it and release it. For example, in the last phrase, catch it, and I catch the note. I don't catch it, I play it. Okay, one thing that is completely wrong about that whole rendition, although it was quite a confident run-through, was it's way too loud. It starts piano, maybe pianissimo, it ends pianissimo. I've got to try everything in my power. Alas, it's a little hard for me to use the sostenuto pedal as much as I want to and the soft pedal at the same time. I have experimented with turning my foot and it's just not worth it in this case. So, but at the very, very end, I'm able to use the soft pedal. Go up right away. So I should. There we go. Okay, I'm going to stop here. That feel better this afternoon than I felt this morning. On the other hand, I'm going to do it again tomorrow cold and see whether today's work pays off tomorrow and what kind of review or what kind of storage in here I need to make sure that the learning is accessible the first time through. Any of you who are either a teacher, have been a teacher, or have been a student recognize you'll often walk into a lesson and play and say, it worked so much better in my practice room or at home. And that's often the case because you're not accessing a plateau, you're not accessing a foundation for your playing that you can count on every time. You're just accessing the last good performance, which is not something that will deliver itself to you. There's too many other internal conversations and conflicts going on. So you have to build on that level, and that's what I'm working on now. Okay, see ya.